kill with the warrior poet, spitting out the facts, artillery loaded, perfecting our craft, yeah you know we devoted. I know what I want so I'm staying focused. You hitting up my line, it's on do not disturb. Don't need a fool who can't even back up his words. Had to burn bridges and take different roads. You might think I'm toxic, but homie, I got goals.
I want to talk about some crazy shit.
Tell me, bro. I'm always down to talk about crazy shit, bro. I want to say some crazy shit. So this might be it, where we let loose. Alrighty, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of the Word Boy Show. How are you, brother?
Good, and you?
I'm doing just fine. What are some crazy shit you want to talk about?
I don't know. You start.
Bro, like, there's so much stuff on the internet, and man, I should have brought my computer over. Because, like, for example, I feel like they're probably lying about the Ukraine-Russia shit. It seems that what's going on is us. It is us who's instigating everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, because I've always heard that Ukraine's like one of the most corrupt countries in the world.
Ukraine?
Yeah, Ukraine.
Romania, Ukraine, Russia. I mean, Russia is no secret because, like, Putin is in control of, like, basically every fucking thing, including the media. Like, we know this. We know that the government owns everything. You know? But the thing is, what if that's the case here? But it's like the ability to have the choice of HBO Max or Disney Plus, Target or Walmart, Circle K or Chevron. But it's all this. It's all the same people. Like, when you look at the paper trail, it all goes back to the same companies.
Yep. The people that control the world, it's all left and right. It's two sides of the same coin, you know.
Yeah.
Although I feel like right now the liberals are like they have some pretty crazy ideas, you know, like everything that's going on with the LGBTQ and
yeah. So it's the unholy trinity: feminism, okay, the liberals, and what was the other one? The LG. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, you guys are part of the triad, you know, and the reason I say this is because you guys are coming at this from a place of victimhood, and your perceptions are very, you know, they're just bottom line wrong, you know. Like, feminism is advocating for women's empowerment and independence. Okay, well, what power is it in independence? Even I know that being an independent man, whatever the fuck that means, sucks. Yep. I want to have a woman by my side. I want to share my life with somebody. I want to build something with someone, and it's like.
And feminism has destroyed modern relationships because, I mean, all the women, you know, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
And then from statistics that I've seen, like 80% of divorces are started by women.
You're kidding.
And like, I mean, if you see the on the courts, like, it always favors the woman, like, who gets to keep the kids, who gets to pay child support.
You know what? Talking about statistics, I was just talking about this the other day. There is more of a probability for a kid, be it woman or boy, I mean, male or female. Oh yeah, there's only two genders.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
I mean, you don't have to agree with me. It's a matter of a fact, unfortunately. You know, and a lot of people are gonna. I might get canceled for this one, right? Who cares? Who cares? I said it, but so whether it's a boy or a girl, if there's divorce, there's like a substantial percentage where the kid's probability to end up in jail is versus both parties staying together. But the curious thing is that the statistic for a marriage that sticks together is the same for the statistic for the children with just the father. Isn't that a mind fuck?
Yep.
So these are statistics. These are facts, you know? Because we're talking about facts here. We're not talking bullshit.
Yeah.
And so when you look at these statistics, you realize that everything is fucking backwards. You know?
Everything comes from the top. The people that control us, they just want to they want to destroy our values, our morals, and they've done it. One of the ways they've done it, I know from what I've heard is that the feminist movement was started by Rockefeller, like
Yeah,
Rockefeller
the
Foundation, and it's always, I mean, it's slowly been like destroying relationships nowadays. Like most men don't really want to get married anymore.
I don't.
A lot of people, a lot of women are not gonna. They don't want to have kids anymore. And I was seeing another statistic that by 2030, like about 50% of women, like they're gonna be 30 and without kids.
Childless, yeah. And then like they're gonna be angry because you're gonna be extra success. Like they don't understand this. Like you're here and I'm here, but if God forbid we don't die tomorrow, we should be better off tomorrow than we are today because we're men and that's how we're designed. Every single day we're sharpening this blade that it's our spirits.
Yeah.
So by the time we're like 30 ourselves or when we're 35, we're gonna be able to pick and choose. And you think I'm gonna pick and choose from some woman that was independent her whole fucking life and she got ran through and now like she wants to settle down with me because obviously I have value? And it's like, no. Like how about that cute girl that is younger than you, is prettier than you, and it's like she doesn't have the experiences that you have, the baggage that you have. Like,
and then they'll. I mean, when you say those things, a lot of the times they're gonna try to shame you, like, oh, like you just want someone younger because you want to control her. But
okay.
it's if you put it the same way, like with women, like they want a taller, someone who makes more money, So it's like. Oh, it's like you want someone better than you, like if you put it in the same way, like
Yeah.
we don't, I guess society doesn't really shame women that often, as they should, like they're very
well, I mean, let me ask you this.
pampered.
Which way should we take it? Should we shame them back or should we just be in consensus that we should be allowed to want what we want,
Yeah. And it kind of goes both ways too. Like men too. Like a lot of men don't stand up for themselves, and like they don't. They're very complacent with where they're at. But I mean, it all comes from the top. Like they've been doing this to like destroy our society. Like
That's right. Yeah, there's no structure right now. Like that's actually what me and Hugo basically talked about for 5 hours, which is discipline, structure, integrity, and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah.
It's like it's non-existent here, bro. It doesn't exist in this country. In this country, everybody's looking for a fucking handout. Everybody's looking to see who can wipe their ass for them, But like, you're actually the first person who introduced me to the concept of simping.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you introduced it to me is you said, don't simp.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you've been preaching this shit for
Yeah.
the longest time. And it's like, we need more guys like you. But it's like, no, everybody's bending over backwards for her. And she might be cute, but.
And I mean, I used to be that guy, like
Of course.
that romantic guy. Like I wanted.
Yeah, poems, roses, yeah.
And I mean, the only thing it makes you look like is kind of like weaker because, I mean, it's not that you're not supposed to do it here and there, but like all the time. It's this blue Disney pill that we
Yeah.
grew up as a kid, watching Disney and like finding the perfect love and
You know what? That Disney shit wasn't for the girls, the princesses.
Yeah.
It was for us.
it was to make men weaker, like little boys. Like
Yeah.
I saw that in the olden times. The way they used to take over like societies was that they used to like conquer by killing all the strong men, and then they were able to mold the children wherever they would conquer.
Oh shit!
So-
So like genetically speaking, the physically strong, like the physically strong, just like genetically speaking, are inherently like barbarians. They have more things to operate with. And so like those people, they usually don't really think acutely. But at least from what I understood back in the olden times, you know, they were warriors. You know, they were just like all about like going out there and beheading you or something. And then you have like the Greeks, you know, who were more mental, you know, and they were able to strategize, you know, like I really love the Trojan horse story, you know,
Yeah.
because it shows that like it's not about strength, it's about intelligence, you know. So like what we're advocating for is like it's being smart, you know, like being smart in the way you carry yourself, you know, like because if you allow others to manipulate you, it doesn't matter if you're the strongest, it doesn't matter anything. You're just as good as a fucking dog, a loyal one at that, you know.
Yeah. Completely agree. It's another way society has destroyed man is through porn, you know, pornography. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's a reason why it's free, you know, because it destroys your soul, and that's why there's so many weak men, you know, like
Dude,
constantly
why?
addicted to porn, you know. And it's crazy because so many people I feel like are addicted to having sex.
Yeah.
And that's something like
Well,
it comes down to what I was hearing, you know, about Hugo talking yesterday about what he's faced at his gym about like people just like
Yeah,
cheating
yeah.
on each other and stuff. It's because people are addicted to sex and they can't control their emotions. And
we're over sexualized too, you know. Like my point also was that like it doesn't matter about the fucking pornography because the pornography is the end all be all, right? But there's a gateway, there's a ladder, that there's a stepping stones. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and then
Yeah.
boom, next thing you know,
yep,
you just wasted a whole ass day on nastiness, on the devil shit, you know.
Yep, Instagram is like full of soft porn.
Yeah.
You see all these girls, half naked girls all the time, and it's like I don't know, society like promotes that, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're mixing it with all of these other platforms, for lack of a better word, how desensitized are you to like the real world? How engaged are you with your thoughts, and what kind of connection do you have with God at that point? And let me tell you, every time I would watch porn, you know, it's like I could still hear God, but I'm ignoring him. I'm ashamed of I'm ashamed of myself, you know. It's that deep that it cuts to your soul, you know. And this isn't talked about, you know. I'm actually gonna call out somebody, and I'm so glad you brought it up, you know. There's this podcast called No Jumper. Don't fucking listen to that fucking prick. He's a fucking porn star himself, and he advocates for it. He was talking to Senko, and you know Senko?
No.
He's a very intelligent young man, and I fuck with him. He's a cool dude, you know, and he essentially was telling fucking this motherfucker, you know, what's his name? Who gives a fuck? But that's a podcast. Don't listen to it. That motherfucker, he's just saying like, yeah, man, like porn is good. Like it releases stress.
Yeah.
Like you want to watch porn, man. You don't know how many times I watch porn. I watch porn like 3 times a day, man. It's good for you, man.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm successful. Look, my podcast. Oh shit. And my girlfriend is a porn star too, you know? And it's like, Senko is essentially saying like, yeah, dude, but like you say that because at the end of the day, you still fuck the bitch. You still do your little videos, you know? But the other guy watching your fucking bullshit, who fucking doesn't have any game whatsoever. He hasn't left his room, you know? He doesn't even know what a real woman looks like. Just this, and the thing is that at that point, it's like, it's not even your preference. It's like you have options. You have everything.
And then nowadays, kids since like 11, 12 years old,
Bro,
probably even less. That's one of the reasons why I never, like, I don't like parents like giving their kids phones. Like, if I had a kid myself, like I wouldn't get him a phone till like he was like 15, 16, and like he has to work for it. Because that's how I did it. Like my parents never bought me a phone. I used to have one of those Virgin Mobile phones, and it was a
Like flip phone?
prepaid. I used to pay $20 a month, and I had unlimited text messaging. And like nowadays, kids like 8, 9 years old, they're with their phones. Like, you never know. Like, you can't really track them all the time, like when they're on the phone and stuff. So, like kids nowadays have access to.
Yeah, it's the most accessible thing for anybody.
Mhm.
If you want to see it, you can see it. Anybody.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter. And that fucking little questions like, oh, are you over 18?
Yeah.
It's like, probably not, motherfucker. You know,
Yeah.
like, there should be a better vetting system. But, like, let's not even go there because the could-have, should-haves don't exist. This is the reality of the world.
Yeah.
There's mass shootings on a weekly basis. It seems that El Paso is going to be the hub for it. From what it like, this is Sin City. This was the original
Yeah.
Sin City for a reason. This was a place where a lot of traffic was going on. Look how it's growing.
If in a way, to me, it feels like we're kind of living in a Batman movie, because it's like
Yeah, this is Gotham City.
and you hear like all over the country that there's been chemical spillage everywhere.
Yes.
Like in Ohio, and then there was another one in
Florida?
Tucson, and then there was another in Florida, and it's like, man, like, it's what a coincidence that everything is
Yeah.
just happening at the same time.
And it's like this country, what I keep always saying is like nobody can touch us. Not Mexico and the little cartels, not Canada and their stupid Trudeau. Nobody, dude. Not nobody. None of the Europeans, not even the Germans, right?
Yeah.
So why the fuck are we crumbling? It's where it came from the inside out, I think that I cannot change the world, nor save it, nor even change you, right? All I can do is bring out the light in me, the inherent light, because that's all this shit's going on. The Grammys, what the fuck was that? Sam Harris with his fucking whatever satanic shit that was. Rihanna,
It's everywhere, like in the music, they're always talking about the devil and stuff. Like they're promoting.
I'm gonna
that.
tell you something. I'm promoting their shit, dude, because that's the only way this is gonna catch on.
Yeah.
Look, the fucking dark reds, the checkerboard,
Yeah.
the Freemason shit.
Sometimes you just gotta play the game,
Yeah,
know how to play the game.
and it's like I'm making fun of it. In reality, it's a parody to me. Like, my allegiance is to God always. You know, I don't see the merits in selling your soul to gain the world.
Yep.
No,
I feel like this life is just like a small fraction of eternity. This is nothing.
This is a pit stop. You're right.
Yeah. So
because look at history and where you stand in history. And even if you do leave your mark, you'll still be a speck of fucking nothing compared to everything else.
Yep.
I mean, there were fucking dinosaurs, my guy. You don't fucking matter.
People are not gonna remember you in
not really
like 2-3 generations. Like, everybody's gonna be.
And I mean, hopefully we have 2-3 generations of like prosperity.
Yeah.
But it seems that the doom is looming. So it's like we need to stand up and say something about this and stop fucking worrying about
things that don't matter.
Exactly, like gender equality. Man, nothing is equal, but should there be balance? Of course. But life is also not fair. Should it be? Of course. But like, if we can start to be okay with the reality of the world instead of asking ourselves, oh, well, how should it be then? Who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck? It is what it is, There shouldn't be any mass shootings. There shouldn't be anything going on like that. We should be beyond racism and political arguments like that, But we're not, We think we're so removed from the animals that we actually genetically come from, but we associate ourselves so much to the divinity of the things that we shun and we shy away from, A lot of people would think they're gods and angels and divine, but they don't even speak to God. They don't even recognize God, They think they have all of this by their own merit.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're very selfish and they're just narcissistic too. People that take pictures, like to pictures of themselves all the time and post them all the time. one of the top narcissistic traits.
Yeah,
You know, like
I can see that. Staring in the mirror. I stare in the mirror quite a bit, and I think there is a little bit of narcissism in me, dude. I think I sometimes fall in love with myself too much, and I'm disgusted by that. I've come to grips with it because it's like, man, who the fuck is not gonna like if I don't love myself, who is gonna you know? But you could take it a little bit too far. You know what I mean? You should humble yourself, and so
I feel like it's important to like have confidence in yourself, but at the same time, like it's important to be humble. Like you don't.
Well, it's a balancing act, right?
You know,
like
yeah.
Like everything's a contradicting situation if you think about it. Read the Bible. There's a lot of contradictions there. Like, look at your own philosophies. There's a lot of contradictions there. And am I gonna call you a hypocrite? No, I want to stay in shape, but I also want to have a good time, right? So we'll have a beer. We'll take a shot. You know, stuff like that. I'm not gonna become an alcoholic because I still want to be an athlete. Like, so how do I do that? It's a balancing act. It's a fucking balancing act, and disciplined people do that very, very well.
And you know everything that we've been talking about. You know who's brought up those topics out to like public, and like that's why they hate him. Andrew Tate. Mm-hmm. Andrew Tate. He's helped out a lot of men. You know, like become better men. How to escape the matrix, because in a way we're trapped in a society where you're like forced to work your 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday, and then it's all in like your life can be in a repetition mode, you know.
Oh, dude, isn't it the most depressing thing when you just see like it cannot be a year, because if you let a year pass like that, it's beyond me. But you go through like a few weeks where you're like, man, what the fuck is going on in my life? I feel like I'm like on a loop.
Yep.
You know? How do I break this? Oh, well, let me quit my job. Let me punch that motherfucker in the face. Let me take some shrooms.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that extreme to like live life. I should feel like I'm flowing rather than just like glitching. Mm-hmm. That's what the fuck it is. Like all these people are like glitching over the same fucking thing.
That's why I'm trying to I feel like I'm gonna escape the matrix. That's one of my.
Yeah, I think you already did, dude.
No.
And you're here to liberate other people. You know, they're gonna arrest us next, and then they're gonna arrest the next people that actually have the balls to talk about this.
Yeah.
Until, like you said, all of the fucking strong men are gone. All of the wise men have been chopped, their heads decapitated. You know, and that's fine. You know, I'll be with God. You know, and we'll see how we can help you guys out.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like. With Andrew Tate, you have to understand this. Once he got arrested, Vice dropped their fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I listened to that shit, dude. And let me tell you, the little voice recording shit's AI. And tell me it cannot be done. It's possible that it was him being a degenerate. Yeah. But like based on everything that everyone says and everything that he has fucking claimed to says and everything that God has given him, seems to be to dictate that he is, at the very least, a decent dude.
Yep.
Yeah. He might be a prick in the way he speaks, a fucking douchebag, but you know what? Yeah. When he gets down and dirty and says some fucking like humble shit and he fucking speaks to men, man to man, man, I love him. I love him. I feel like he's like speaking to me and saying, bro, like it doesn't have to be this way. Like literally.
He's speaking to a lot of young men, you know, and that's why...
Hey, Jesus got persecuted.
Yeah.
Look what, like, Jesus was the holiest of whole, like the best man that could ever exist, and we still crucified him. Mm-hmm. Like, we're fucking pieces of shit. We don't know.
Yep. It's crazy because I work as a swim coach, and the kids that I train, they're in high school, and all of them, like all the boys, like Andrew Tate. And
that's good, bro.
Yeah, and like they're all really good. They're really good kids, and like I feel like I think it's just crazy, you know, the amount, like how far like he's all over the world. Like they know him, you know, all the young men. Like they feel inspired.
If they kill him or they do anything, that fucker did his job. You know, he could go out with his shield on his back. You know.
Yeah.
And in reality, man, like, everything comes around, and there's always revelations. You know, life is cyclical. That's why when you read scripture, you know, you could read the Quran, you could read the Bible, you could read anything you fucking want. You could read a fucking I recommend Musashi, it's the novel, and you'll see that there's patterns here. Like they're all telling you the same fucking story. You know, just be honorable, be disciplined, and be the best you can be. You know, and you know what's right and you what's wrong, and if you do what's wrong, it's like you have to start all over again.
The only way you're gonna be able to like help the world is like by being right with yourself.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're right with yourself, like you're financially stable, like you're mentally stable, like physically strong, like you're gonna be able to help other people, you know, like inspire other people to become better. And I think that's a very important trait that people should look for, you know, like those traits.
Yeah.
And I feel like I think that's the main topic that Andrew Tate was like promoting, you know, like, and I feel like some of it, like he would go to extreme, you know, but I mean, I would think it was like a part of an act.
Of course, I mean, you have to be retarded if you don't see behind the facade. Like, you have to be retarded if you think I'm the guy with the shades on, and that's why I'm not wearing them right now. You know, because it's like, who gives a fuck? You know, like that guy, he comes once in a while, and he says some outlandish shit. You know,
yeah,
it's like,
that's gonna trigger people.
Exactly. But like, only I know what the fuck I really think. And only he knows what's in his heart. You know. But going back to the Vice thing, you know, I listened to this alpha male speech from Elon Musk. Have you heard it?
Which one?
Dude, okay. So it's an AI generated speech.
I think I heard it. I think I know which one you're talking
it's
about.
like,
and it sounds so real. But
yes, and then it's him speaking. Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, they got Elon Musk to say that he is such an alpha and his testosterone levels are beyond any other man, that when he fornicates with them, it's basically like fornicating with a woman.
Yeah.
It's like they don't understand how I can fornicate with men and still not be completely straight. And let me explain why. Because my testosterone levels. And it's like, what the fuck? I thought it was him. You know, I was like, no way he came out of the closet like that, you know?
Back to our first topic, what we started with, you know, sure, like about the liberals and LGBTQ. You know, I've never had any problems with them.
No.
But the only problems I see is like, for example, like drag shows, like taking kids to a drag show, you know,
or putting them in drag shows.
Yeah, you know, it's like, shouldn't there be a legal age for that? You know, at least 18, be an adult. And then same thing for like the parades and stuff, you know, like the way they're dressed and stuff. And then there's kids around.
Well, again,
you know?
that's not necessarily, well, it could be for the women, but because like you're chopping off the ability for women to reproduce by changing them into men, and you're same for, but it's a little bit more sinister for the men, because it's like they're men.
Yeah.
So it's like the ones that are gonna shoot guns and stand up and riot and say fuck that shit. I'm gonna stand for this bullshit. Well, that guy is no longer a guy. It's a he, she.
Yeah.
Her.
I'm always gonna be against, you know, them competing against women. You know.
On top of that, that's how is that equality?
Yep. Because it's, you know, it's whether people. It's crazy that nowadays people get really offended when you say that men are stronger than women. You know, like it's a scientific fact. You know, like we have way more testosterone. We have a lot more muscle. Our bone density is bigger too. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you turn yourself into a woman, competing in an actual fight, and then afterwards you'll still give me a run for my money, like that. Like, that's the kind of power you would wield as a woman still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, how are you going to allow this actual man to put on some prosthetic tits and call it and chop off his wiener and call it a day, you know. And she's gonna lace up her gloves, and then destroy. And I've seen fights where like, man, they suck, dude. They're not even any good. The girls are fucking like so technical, so beautiful, like piecing them apart. But like, since they're a fucking tank, they're just taking everything, and the next thing you know, bam, fucking break to the face, and that's all she wrote.
It's crazy, man. We're living in crazy times.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy times.
I mean, bro, there has to be like a fucking mafia that has to arise from this, that like an anti-Matrix mafia, you know?
I feel like the only way there would really be a change is like if everybody got together, everybody gets on the same page.
You seen that picture where like there's this table and then the elites and then it's all the peasants, just
and like if everybody just stands up,
their game is over.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's a game.
They're playing with us, you know, but
it's like that game, the Squid Game, you know. It's you know how they were treating them, and it's all these just rich people playing games with them and stuff.
Just having fun.
It's the same thing that's going on with us.
You know, all these movies and all this shit, like even the alien monster shit. If it could be conceptualized, I think it's real. I think it can, or it has the possibility to be real.
Nowadays, every single movie you see like you see subliminal messages everywhere.
Netflix drops a bunch of subliminals.
Yeah, Netflix, big time. Yeah. You know, like I've noticed that they always have to go for like minorities or like LGBTQ. Yes. You know, like the most recent movies I've seen. I think it's called You People.
Okay.
One of the, I guess the main ones is
Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, Jonah Hill and then his best friend.
Oh, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, with Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
and
shit.
Like that one, they had a minority lesbian, you know, and then
transgender, no?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think she was. I don't know. Well, whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, every single movie or like show, like the 90s show too, like they put a minority LGBTQ like part.
Yeah,
like they just have to like include it.
Yeah.
Like in everything, like just I guess put it into everyone's head, you know.
Or like Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
That one had a lot of fucking criticism. You know, it was just like, what, the blacks against the Mexicans?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. They always have to make it about race.
Yeah. Like, why couldn't the other guys be black too? You know? Like it was a black thing. You know, like like a homage to the culture, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, they had to, like you said, they had to make it a race war. You know, like in this world, racism shouldn't. Yeah. Like, they're fighting crime. God damn it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they're always putting symbols too, numbers.
Yes.
They love to put the number 33.
Yes.
In Godzilla, I remember then they kind of like joke around it up to like they like rub it in our faces, but then at the same time, I remember they made a joke about conspiracy theories. They were like, "Oh, this guy's a conspiracy theorist,"
yeah.
And then they all laughed at that guy.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it still sounds ludicrous, you know. Oh, the number 7 has this very powerful meaning, and number 4 is for stability and money. It's like, get the fuck out of here, bro, with your numerology and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, look at the zodiac stuff. Look at the numerology stuff. Don't believe in it like oh my god, I'm so devout to like the fucking tarot. Mm-hmm. No, dude, you have to connect the dots. It's everywhere. You don't read just the Holy Bible. You read the Quran, and then you read the fucking I have Hitler's Table Talk. You know, that guy was so eloquent. He was so smart. He knew how to mold himself. He had rich aristocrat Jews to his fucking place, and he would just entice them and have a good time with them. You know, he was a fucking freak. That's what he was. He's a fucking, like you said, psychopath, narcissist, you name it. He was everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you don't want to admit that they're out there. you know.
Yeah.
But you avoid these literatures because it's nefarious, right? And next you know, you don't realize that there's people employing these evil tactics to manipulate you, you know. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be the media or government or anything like the shit that we see on our phones. It could just be that fucking guy, that fucking
Yeah.
coworker, you know. Hey, can you cover my shift? Hey, can you? Next thing you know, some shit's fucking going on, you know.
I feel like a good way to, because people don't like it when they see you succeeding. You know, that's
I want to see.
where
I want to see you do good. Just not better than me, bro.
yeah, that's how people are. But I feel like one way to avoid that, you know, like it's a famous phrase, you know, work in silent, you know,
Yeah.
because nobody, at the end of the day, nobody really cares what you do. And if you post something on Instagram and about doing really good, people are just gonna hate, you know, they're gonna want less for you, and it's energy that is directed towards you, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to like stay on the down low in the way. So
Stay John Wick.
yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Don't let people fucking know what's up. I mean, I think that given the life that I've lived, this is like too much exposure. You know, like it makes me queasy. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to understand too, like in relationships, the whole look at me with my babe. There's people with the power of the evil eye, you know.
Yeah.
And so like they just see it and they manifest it onto you, which is evil, you know. Evil manifests into your life because you giving people access, you know. There was this one chick, dude. She would always want a picture of me, like send a picture of me, send a picture of yourself rather, and shit would start happening to me, dude. Like my life would start going down,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
like,
We gotta be careful with who we talk to and who we
yes, and you know,
surround
bro,
ourselves.
like with me and this chick, like, I mean, you know what it is,
Yeah.
you know, like who gives a fuck about this fucking witch like bitch, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, like, if that was the case that I exposed myself too much, you know, like, you know, like there's people with bad vibes, you know.
Yeah.
I've dealt with drug dealers, right? And just like, well, I have to tell you the story, right? 'Cause I was trying to get some illicit substances,
Yeah.
and this guy's like, oh yeah, we'll pull through, you know, scoop, and I was like, all right. And while I was driving, he was texting me saying, oh well, you should come up, hang out, and all this shit. And I didn't want to fucking hang out with him. I just wanted to do business, and that's it, right? But he was like insistent, right? And I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get the shit without like being rude, you know? So I was like, yeah, I guess I could swing by and say what's up, you know? And so I get there, and literally the raunchiest neighborhood you could fucking imagine here in the city, dude. And so I go in, and he's like, well, he met me at the base of the building, and he's like, yeah, come on, I'll walk you upstairs. And like just hood rats and just the gutters, dude, the scum of the scum. And they're like, what's up, fool? Where you from? Type of shit, you know? Dude, I'm nervous, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? What am I doing here? You know? Like, this is not worth it. And well, yeah, man, we go upstairs. We go into his pad, or if you could call it that. It's just like a rat infested cage, right? Where he belongs. But it's pure darkness, dude. It's like phantom black. As soon as we enter the room, everything goes like, I can't see shit. I'm in nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck? And now I'm like, dum, 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 dum. I'm like, what the fuck? And now I see the light of his room. Like, that's the only thing that you can see. He's like, come on, you want a Humex? Like, being chill, you know? I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. I'm drinking the Humex. He opens it, right? In front of me. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking anything like that. And because that's the vibe that I was getting, dude. And sure enough, dude, I go into his room, fucking pigsty, dude. Like trash everywhere on the couch, on the bed, like you name it, bro. Like there was no place that didn't have some crushed up beer or some burnt, half burnt, half smoked cigarette, you know.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Well, you want to smoke some weed?" But I need to learn to say no, right? But I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Yeah.
I can't say no to weed.
Yeah.
So now we're smoking, right? And as soon as we spark up, he starts telling me his fucking stories. He goes podcast mode, you know.
Yeah.
I think I just bring it out, you know. Like, I don't know, but this fucker starts telling me how like he had to break up with his ex because he found her on porn sites having relations with his own mother, and he starts describing everything that like they did, and I'm like, smoking, right? I'm like, man, who the fuck asked you all of this shit, dude? Like, you're just gonna start fucking giving me the dirty deeds, like,
yeah.
And then he's like, not even face. He continues. I'm like, all right then, and I start noticing that he had like devil shit around, like satanic memorabilia, like a devil mask was in his desk. And I'm like, all right, bro, like, fuck your story, give me my fucking drugs. And then he's like, all right. I was just fucking like unloading my pain, man. That's it, you know. I'm like, well, you're painting a very vivid picture, man. I think I could have like gotten the gist without you going there, you know. And so he starts getting the shit, right, and then we fucking exchange, you know, a handshake, allegedly.
Yeah.
And so next to you know, this guy's like jokingly like brushing my leg because now he's like on the floor and I'm still on the couch, right? And he's like, I'm like, this guy's like getting like all fucking like comfortable with me, like what the shit.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, that's my customer, man. That's how I know what's up, you know. And so he lets him in, and he's like, I'll be right back. I'm like, what the fuck?
Shit.
I'm like, shit, fuck.
I would be uncomfortable as fuck.
No, dude, I've been uncomfortable the whole fucking time since the moment I got there. Like, since the moment I left my car, I've been like fucking on the edge of my seat, you know.
You had a bad feeling since the beginning?
Bro, I just knew that like I had like a pocket knife and let's see what's up, you know.
Yeah.
Because this guy, on top of that, he was like showing me his weapons, like a big old fucking sword and shit. And I'm like, man,
yeah,
let's see, let's see what's up, you know. I'm like, that's a cool sword, man. I'm not even gonna show you my knife, you know. But so the customer comes in. It seems that like they're more like friends, right? And they're continuing with this like sob story shit and I'm like, you know what, bro? You continue with your story. I'm out. He's already got what I wanted, you know. But I will tell you this: prior to that happening, this is the important part. He wanted me to take Percocets. He was like, "Have you ever done Percocets?" I'm like, "No," and it's like, "All right, bro, I got you." I'm like, "No, hold on, like, I'm good. I already got what I wanted, you know. Like, we're just smoking the blunt and I'm out." Like, no, man, we're gonna chill, bro. There's a lot of money in perks, dude. A lot of money, dude. I could get you into business like that, dude. And she's like, and yeah, man, people overdose on this shit, but that's because they're stupid, man. And he's like, I've killed a lot of people. I'm like, oh, here we go with the I've killed a lot of niggas story, you know. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, well, I mean, in reality, it's not my fault, you know. Like, these motherfuckers don't know how to, like, I give them the drugs and they overdose. It's not my fault, you know. They're stupid. Yeah. That's how he rationalized it. Like, he understood he was committing murder, but it's not his fault. He's washing his hands, you know. And so,
how old were you?
That happened in 2020, so 2 years ago. So 23, 22, something like that. Yeah. And so I'm talking to this motherfucker about how I don't want to do the Percocets, and he's like, dude, it's because like this is how you do it. He crushed them up, and then he's like, you burn it like this, like you microdose type of shit. And he's like, watch, I'll show you. But before he like did that, he had taken a hit out of a bong, you know. And I'm like, what are you smoking? And he's like, meth. So he took an upper and he wanted me to take a downer. Now, I don't know how that sounds, but that sounds
Yeah.
like I was about to
trying to
get
rape you.
Yeah, I was like about to get date raped, dude. Bad. And this motherfucker, like dude, I felt the evilness in him. Like it started to grow and grow and grow, and then the filth of his soul was consuming me, dude.
When did you take off?
Well, I was trying to take off by the time the customer got there. I was like, all right, well, you're gonna continue with your nastiness. I'm leaving, you know. It's like, what, bro? I thought we were gonna kick it and shit. I'm like, no, bro. I actually have some shit that I'm dealing with, you know, and I would like to leave. And he's like, oh man, we're all dealing with some shit. Like his wife died, and then I'm like, now I'm like back on the scene, you know. I'm intrigued. I'm like, what? You're like, I'm empathetic, you know. Your wife died? I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, what happened? Epileptic attack. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, I have a friend that has epilepsy, so that hit home. I'm like, did she take medication or like what the fuck? And then the guy was like, she overdosed. And as soon as he said that, I was looking at him, right, having a conversation, and I saw that there was emptiness here. I felt fire coming like from the base of my feet all the way up, like rage, dude. And I turn around, and there he is, smiling at me, like he already knew. And we're facing each other, and I'm giving him like my fury, like I'm letting him know that I'm pissed off, you know, like just by looking at him, right? And he's smiling at me, you know. And he tries to hug me, and I just like push him off. I'm like, I'm outies, bro. He's like, oh, what the fuck? Nah, bro, I'm out. And then fucking, he's like, okay, I'll walk you out. Dude, that was the most scariest walk I have ever had in my life, dude. Again, going through the pitch dark. So I was able to leave. He tried to still like give me like the whole bro handshake. But dude, I just like pushed him off again. I'm like, fuck this shit, dude. And as I was walking down, those hoodlums were no longer to be there. Nowhere to be seen. And as I was driving back, well, I was like fucking perplexed with everything that had just transpired. I took the shrooms that night, and God said, look what the fuck I have to do for you. I have to fucking remove these fucking filthy rats out of your way so you could be safe. You're making me work overtime.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you do this to me? Like, I shouldn't be intervening for this fucking nonsense. You just wanted to talk to me? Then talk to me, you dumb fuck. You don't have to fucking take this shit. And you don't, sure as fuck don't have to go there to get it. Like that I got scolded, dude, by God like that, dude. Like, why the fuck are you going there, way?
I feel you. The shrooms can be, they it's like a third. It's like you're looking at yourself in the third person. Third person, yeah. Last time I did shrooms, man, I had such a crazy trip. It was last year. You know, I was with some other coaches, and we're drinking. And then we went to one of my friend's house, and he was like, "Oh, I have chocolates, you know, with shrooms. Have you ever tried them? No. They sell them a lot in Cali. It's like 3.5 grams in the chocolate bar.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so we ate half of it, and then we're just good. I guess we were having a good time. We were like, "Oh, fuck yeah," and then we're like, "Oh, fuck it, let's eat the other half." So we ate the other half. It was three of us. One of my friends and I. We started tripping out bad. I started tripping out bad. Like I had like.
Tell me about your trip. Like, walk me through it.
I felt guilty. You know, like
about what?
Just not being where I want to be. You know, like in life. It makes me feel like, man, like you should be working hard, or like you don't have to be doing these things, you know, like to feel good. Like you can just feel good.
It's a choice. It's not an action.
Yeah. And the whole time I just felt really guilty about doing it. Like, cause I just wasn't prepared. I'm not really that big on psychedelics anymore. Mm-hmm. I used to do them more often. Not a lot, but
But I
like
mean,
in my early 20s.
if you have practice, it's like a vehicle. If you have,
Yeah.
if you have
Yeah,
practice,
if you
like,
plan it out and
Yeah.
you're in good company and you don't have anything planned, like
that's the best.
it's a good trip. But just to do them just like that, it's not.
Yeah, drinking on top of that, like
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
yeah.
mix it. You like you have to respect the shroom, you know.
Yeah, that's another reason why I got really like a guilt trip, because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be drinking. You know, it's like guilty.
The shroom told you like you fucked it all up.
Yeah.
Dude. We could have had so much fun.
Yeah.
We could have like I've done it too. You know,
Yeah.
I've done LSD with alcohol, bro. Worst trips of my goddamn life, dude. It's and then when I piss, dude, it's like foam, dude. It's not. It's like acid. It's like, what the fuck? Like the mixture of alcohol and this compound, and then my I'm just pissing like foam. It's like what
Yeah.
the fuck? Or maybe I'm tripping out so much that I think I'm pissing
Yeah.
foam.
I'm not a big fan of LSD. I've only done it once.
Your back hurts so bad afterwards too. It's like it's not. It's like I need a chiropractor, and your brain is fried. You're like, with shrooms, it's like, I'm like, wow. I cried a lot.
I feel like that's, you know how we were talking about getting out of the loop sometimes? It's a good way to get out of that loop.
It's a reset
You-
button.
Dude, you know what the biggest reset of my life has been? When I did DMT.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
you
let me-
told
let
me
me-
that you broke through it. Tell me.
Let me tell you the story. So, for when I was like, this was like 5 years ago. One of my friends and I, we were always like trying to look for that life-changing high, you know,
Yeah.
because we like doing shrooms, but
It wasn't it.
it wasn't it. You know, we tried LSD, it wasn't it, and we were just looking for that change, you know. And then all of a sudden, my friend tells me that this guy has a DMT in a cartridge. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, he was selling it $10 a hit. So I used to drive a Ford Focus, and I went with two of my friends. I've known them since 6th grade. And we parked outside this guy's house, and I was driving. And then this guy, all sketchy, he just shows up. He has like big ass gauges, like huge,
Yeah.
and then like a mohawk, like
Yeah,
painted, and
like exactly
like-
what you
like-
would expect somebody giving you the DMT.
yeah. So it's like, man, I'm already sketched out
Yeah.
from first impression. So he's like, here, man, hit it. So I take a big ass hit, and then I hold it for a couple seconds, and then after the first hit, I could already hear like, yeah. And then my friend was like, because my friend had just done it, so he already knew what to expect. He was like, hit it before you can. So, because I wanted to get my money's worth, you know, to $20 to hit.
Yeah.
So the second hit, I took a big ass hit, and then as soon as I hit it, the guy's like, damn, I've never seen anybody hit it that hard.
And then boom.
He's gonna be gone. And I was trapped. I was trapped in this loop, just like gone. And I just remember like seeing so many images and hearing this bell like ding. It was just loud as fuck, and so many images popping out. Like it's like a lot of bells popping out. And then my first thought, it's the ego. It's like the ego always wants to be in control. So my first thought was like, oh, I need to get down. I need to calm down. What did I do? Like, those were my first thoughts, and I freaked out, and everything was for it. The gone part lasted it felt like forever, and then and then all of a sudden, I don't know, they started talking, and then I would look around and everything. It was kind of like that, like from your wallpaper,
Okay.
like that, kind of like everywhere, like
not organized.
yeah, and then thankfully the guy left right away, because I was tripping on that guy. I was like, damn, what if he gave me something else? Like, I'm gonna die here and stuff. And then the guy left, and then I asked my friend like, hey, am I gonna die? And then he's like, nah, just relax, just enjoy the trip, like. And then I had already kind of like looked into how to like do it. So you're supposed to like just focus on your breathing, like nothing but just
In,
you're only
out.
you're only thinking about your breathing. And then when I close my eyes, like that's when like this portal opened up, and then I just remember like I felt like my soul like
Continue.
got lifted, you know, like, and then I went through like this tunnel, like this dimension, and like I was traveling through like this tunnel, and like I was seeing like infinite things, like I can't even remember like all the things
And you
that,
can conceptualize, really.
yeah. And then it felt like I was like spit out into like this dimension where like there was no space in between lines. You know how like we live in the third dimension, so we see everything like in 3D.
Yeah.
So like 2D is just like two lines, one
Yeah.
line, 1D. And then but this dimension, like there was lines everywhere, like completely connected, like going up, sideways, everywhere. And then when I broke through, that's when I stopped freaking out, and it was like I got filled up with like divine energy, because I just felt super relaxed. And then I heard, to me it was like I talked to God, because he told me that I need to relax more, that I tend to overthink stuff, and to just enjoy it, like relax. And then I was just focusing on my breathing, and then it was crazy because I was just there. I was reflecting on life. Like I was like, damn, like I could see lights everywhere, like from to the distance, and then it felt like I was starting a new life. Like I was in there. I was like, damn, I could start a new life right now. I could be someone else. I could do something
You're
else.
an open canvas.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was like, I wouldn't want to die yet, or like leave my loved ones behind. Like I wouldn't want them to like suffer.
But at that moment, you accepted death, in a sense.
In
Like,
a sense, yeah.
like you understood that you still had your responsibilities to like bury your mother and not the other way around. But like, you were okay if death was part of your existence.
Yeah, because in a way, it felt like I was just gonna completely forget about this life and just start a new one.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started, like, I was very thankful for the life I have, like, for my family, for everything. And I was just very thankful to be alive. I was like, oh, well, this is just temporary. I'm going to be able to come down. And then I was just, I got to the point where I was so relaxed. It felt like I was, like, in my mom's womb again. Like, I was a baby, you know, no
Yeah.
worries in the world. You're just in the womb, like, chilling, relaxing.
You went back to your original state as a child.
Yeah.
Like a child of God, rather.
Yeah.
You know.
And I was like in such a state of relaxation,
Bliss.
there, yeah, that all of a sudden one of my friends started playing music, and this song always reminds me of that time, because it's a very chill song. And I could hear all the instruments playing, and I opened my eyes, and everything looked like a puzzle, like everything, like that's why they say, like, find the missing puzzle, or
Yeah.
like you,
The missing link. What's going on?
yeah, like, because everything can be a puzzle in life. And then it was crazy. It felt like I knew so much about life.
Yeah.
It was such a crazy experience. But then all of a sudden, boom, it felt like it was just a dream. Like it went from being so real to just like feeling like a dream. And I came back to this life, and this life didn't seem real anymore. That's why I said right now earlier, like, this is just a small fraction of eternity, and like some people sell their souls for just a small fraction of eternity, like.
So I don't know what the consequences are for selling your soul, but I'll tell you what the consequences are for not having respect for your own life. And this is tying into my DMT experience.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it, you know? So I got my crack pipe and I got my DMT and I'm figuring this shit out. And it's like, I'll just get a torch. So I got a torch, right? And it's like, I'm like puffing on it. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, this isn't working. You know, like I should have like done crack back in my heyday. You know, at least to know how to do this. And I'm like, fuck it, one more time. And this time I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to flop. Got so fucking milky, dude. Like immediately, boom. And as soon as I noticed like what it was, I cleared it. I felt like my spirit got ripped out of my body. You know how you say you got lifted? No, me, I felt like, what? I got yanked out of my humanity. And at this point, like, fuck my body, right? Where the fuck is it? But I'm like going through the tunnel, dude.
Yeah.
The colors and everything. But the whole time I'm like, fuck, I'm dead. I just fucking died. Like, fucking Jesse. Like, I'm still identifying as myself, but I made a mistake. Like, this is, like, out of all the times that it was a close one, a close call. Like, now I'm finally dead. There, you got what you wanted, you dumb fuck. But I started to realize, like, no, this is not what I wanted. And I'm starting to, like, think about that fucking prick who sold me the shit. I'm like, oh, what did he put on this shit? Like, am I dead? And boom, I get to the dimension that I was sent to. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Meant to be, or it was like the therapy that I needed, right? I ended up nowhere. I was nobody. And I had
like
nothing.
blank?
Black.
Black?
Darkness. I was still consciousness, but I was just still, I was still something, but I was just nowhere. And somehow I couldn't conceptualize myself as someone. It felt so shallow and empty, and I felt so afraid, you know, like, and I started to realize how much I actually cherished what I used to have. My legs, my daughter, you know, like all of these fucking things that you just take for granted, unfortunately. My fucking fork, my spork, you know, that doesn't fucking pick up shit, and I'm fiddling with it, you fucking bitch, cunt. I missed the spork.
Yeah.
And then, like, once I was starting to get comfortable with the idea that I'm fucking nothing, I'm back. And now, like, I see, I open my eyes and everything's like fizzly, right? And the first thing I fucking see is my sister taking a hit out of a pipe. I'm like, no. And she's like, why? I'm like, you don't understand. And she's like, what? Why? What happened? Tell me. I'm like, I died. I fucking, and I started crying, dude, like a bitch. Bad, dude. Like, bawling so fucking bad, dude. Like, I was just so appreciative to be back in that fucking small space I called my room, you know? Fuck, dude. And it's like, wow, all of this cynicism, all of this, like, nihilism that I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if I die. I'll cross the street without looking both ways. I'll go to that fucking hoodlum's fucking apartment and get my drugs. I don't care. It's like, yes, you fucking do, dude. Yeah, you do. You love your life, and you love this no matter how fucking bad it gets, you know?
When you're facing death like that, that's when you really appreciate it.
Yes.
Everything that's important.
And so I say to you, we have died, and we've come back.
Yeah.
And we're telling the stories of the afterlife, you know? And what I'm trying to say is, like, there is an afterlife, but it's up to you. If you live your life with shallowness and nothingness, well, that's probably where you're going to end up. Everybody gets their dues. Everybody gets judged accordingly. We're not going to be in a prison cell in hell with the rest of the demons. No, you're going to get the punishment you deserve. The punishment I deserved at the time was, well, the lesson, rather, because I took it as a lesson. It's just like, you love life, and you much rather have that than nothing at all.
Would you ever try the
Ayahuasca?
the 5-MeO DMT? I don't know if I would try ayahuasca.
What is the 5-MeO?
Because the synthetic one that they extract from, I think they extract it from plants, or I don't know, because I know it's everywhere, but the synthetic one they call that one the spirit molecule, the one we did, and then the one that comes from the toad, they find it in the Sonoran Desert.
Yeah,
it comes from
the
toad.
Pus, right?
Yeah, it's like the pimples. Yeah, they squeeze it on this glass, and then they let it dry. And then they get the powder, and then they smoke it. Those like in the crack pipe. But that one's the God molecule. They
toast?
say that one's way stronger than the spirit one, because that one, I guess I don't know. I guess it looks like it happened to you. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you did the God Molecule one, because from what people have said, and this one like you literally go into like outer space and like you're like flying into outer space, and then you go into this place where it's like it's only you and everything's just blank, and you see life from like God's point of view, and I guess your ego is completely gone. Like
Yeah, I had nothing. I
you
had
don't really
nothing.
know like you don't really know who you are anymore and
Credit
stuff.
score? What the fuck do I give a fuck about that? I'm nothing. Like getting used to the idea was so saddening, you know, because this ego thing was like also also something that I cherished, you know. And next thing you know, I come back and it's like fuck the ego. Like there's something more important than my pride and my joy. It's like just waking up and breathing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that should be the good enough reason to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, my father, well, he went through, you know, loss. You know, his child died, my sister, and it's like, I don't know what I would do. Like I don't know, man. I feel like I would like off myself if something happened to my kid. You know, but I think it's like that's not the thing. That's not the point. It's like you're getting attached to these humans, and it's like we're not each other's. We're one. You know. And it's like you get angry when you drop your mug and it breaks, and it's like, ah, what the fuck, you know? It's like it's just a mug, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like you're so attached to these things that any little thing pisses you off. I don't know, man. This fucking life, it gives
It's such a trip, man.
gives you a kick in the nuts, man.
Yeah.
Man, like, I think I would want like a psychedelic experience again, but more I'm gonna use them very very sparse because I
Yeah.
do feel like they are a reset button, you know. And
I-
like if life is going good,
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking, you know.
Yeah. I feel like I don't really need them right now.
Mhm,
I mean,
exactly.
I do want to try DMT again. You know, like now I really know what to expect, so I can go in with a different mindset.
Yeah, explore different corners of.
Yeah.
And I was actually talking about this earlier. I took LSD once and I started nodding off, dude, like sleeping, and then once I actually like I was still awake, you know, like it was like everything flipped over once, and I was like in this room, dude, but it was a big room like for giants, you know, like I felt small in this room, like they had pillars, but everything was outlined with neon lights. It looked like, and it was like a movie, like the frame was moving this way, or my field of vision rather. And the more I started to explore this room, the more scared I felt. You know, I felt like if I got to a certain point, I would see someone in the place where I was, you know? And boom, as soon as I felt that fear, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? You know?
Dude, speaking about seeing things, one time, one of my friends and I, we felt like we saw a witch. We both saw the same thing. We were walking out of this friend's house, and we weren't on anything. Like we were walking out, and then all of a sudden we see this girl walking, and at first my first thought was like, oh, it's my friend's sister.
Yeah.
Like she just got home or whatever. So she's walking like in between the cars, and then all of a sudden, it like looked like it transformed into a cat, and it was a black cat. And my friend and I, we freaked out. We were like, "Oh shit!" We went to go tell my other friend.
Yeah.
And then it was like, man, like this, it's crazy because we both saw it. You know, like the same thing.
I believe you, man. I believe in everything, dude. I think everything is a possibility, you know? Aliens, of course. God, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know? Like us, I don't think so, you know? I don't have faith in us. You know, I have more faith in the reptilians than us, you know? And granted, the reptilians are the ones that are controlling us.
Yeah.
You know, what if they're the ones fucking running the show?
Dude, you know what trips me out? over there, whenever I go hiking, there's a light on top of the mountain.
Okay.
Like weird ass light, you know, like why would there be a light there on top
in the
of
most random
yeah.
random place.
Oh, it's over there in the northeast. It's you can see it from Boyne Ranch. And then the crazy thing, to get to Boyne Ranch, well, there's different ways, but the easiest way, like you park closer to it. But like if you want, you apparently like people go in with their cars and then last time we were checking, there was like 9 locks on it. Like if 9 people need to show up to like open it. And then in that little ranch, there's like parking spaces now. So there's a little light, and I feel like there's tunnels underground and stuff, and
Absolutely.
that's where a lot of shit goes on, and a lot of human trafficking goes on.
Well, in the Denver airport, there's a lot of conspiracies on that place. You know that whatever we see, it's like it goes deeper. You know, like way deeper than that, because they're like mile high above sea level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, how much can they dig down? You know?
Yeah.
And how much is a mile down? Also, how do we conceptualize that?
Yeah.
I am so fascinated with the idea of conspiracies, you know, because when you start talking about conspiracies, the first thing that you have to consider is that you might be crazy. Right?
Yeah.
You have to get that out of the way. It's like it might be that everyone else is right and you're the only one like thinking in an absurd way.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like okay, but like we can also have to ask. We have to, you know, we have to ask ourselves: is society sick in the head as a whole, and I'm the only one that can see the merits behind the JFK files and all this shit, you know? And it's like, anything's
this
possible.
whole COVID thing. COVID, man.
Yes, let's talk about that.
One of the biggest scams.
And
history,
yeah, and you know what? I'm not gonna be that guy and say I told you so, because I don't think I did. I should have been very vocal during the pandemic, you know. I think when the pandemic started, that's when the podcast originally kicked off. You know, just recording off my phone, like, and like, just like that, you know. And I remember one of them was essentially me talking about the toilet paper situation. I'm like, really? Like we're in a pre-apocalyptic situation, and the first thing you guys worry about is how the fuck you're gonna wipe your ass. Wow, like it just goes to show where our priorities are at, like where our mental is, you know. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't worry about toilet paper, you know. Like okay, like take a shit, take a shower, you know, like you figure it out, you know. And it's like I felt very queasy at first because I started going. I didn't give a fuck, dude. I never wore a mask until it was mandated, right? But at first you see a few and you're like, haha, fucking dumb fucks, like punks, idiots, you know, like. And next thing you know, you're the odd man out, and you're like, oh shit, everybody's wearing a mask, you know. I don't give a fuck, but they all started staring at you like.
Yeah, it was crazy as soon as they lifted the mandate off here in Texas, the first day I was all excited. I went to the store. I was the only one like not wearing a mask. Everybody was still wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And I was very vocal about it. I used to get so much hate for like
seriously
speaking about like COVID. You know, COVID is bullshit. You know, all this. It's like the flu. You know.
Do you know how many people have died because of this?
And then I used to. One of my friends' ex-wife, because they just got divorced. She used to hate me. Like she used to hate because I guess we were friends on Instagram. Yeah, and she's a nurse. So I used to talk shit about like, oh, this is bullshit. You don't need a mask and blah blah blah. And she would get me with she would be like, oh, where's your medical degree? It's like, well, I don't need a medical degree to have common sense. You know, like it's obviously. The way they were portraying it first, like, I don't know if you remember in the news, like, they were like, oh, it's a new deadly virus in China. And then you would see dead people in the streets in China. They were making it, like, a huge thing, you know?
It's here. New York. The end is here. And then everybody's like, well everybody go home.
It's because if they put it every single day on the news, it's gonna create fear, and that's what it did.
Yeah, and like I said, it's all stages. They always have a story. It's gonna be Trump, and then it's gonna be COVID, and then it's gonna be the like. If you notice, 2020 was like a mind fuck. You know, it was the fires, and then like wars, and it's just like a domino effect. You know, until we got to COVID, and it seems like COVID really showed the elites like what kind of backbone the people have, which is none.
That's another thing that it comes down to making men weaker. You know, because if men were not, you know, the strong man like stood up for this whole bullshit stuff. You know, but if there was more strong men, like
Yeah, we
this
wouldn't be
would-
getting
yeah.
demonized. We'd be fucking making the rules here. You know, the rules should be you make your rules. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna fucking tell you how to live your life. You're worried about the COVID, don't go out. But I'm gonna be out drinking, having fun with my friends. And if you're in this range, then you should take your precautions. And if you want to take the booster, fine. I don't know what the fuck is in there. I'm not gonna take it. But you do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not gonna demonize you. I'm not gonna make you feel like an idiot because you're trying to feel safe. I
Yeah.
feel safe. I already got the COVID shit. Go back to 20 years prior to whatever Fauci says to nowadays. That motherfucker says you are better off getting the virus than the vaccine. It's 500 times more efficacious.
Yeah, and
and
he also said that masks don't really work and stuff. So
They
and
fucked up.
and
They
then
fucked up.
Everything all of a sudden they fucking switched it.
They fucked up because they start
They
off with
flipped
that,
it.
right? Oh, master, they don't matter. I bet you they didn't fucking send them the memo. He was coming from the bottom of his medical heart. Masks are bullshit. And they're like, dude, masks are the fucking next trend. We're going to make a lot of money here. How much money did they make by forcing me to always go to work with my mask? Where's your mask? Go get a mask. Oh, there you go. Spending $5 at Circle K with that stupid shit, you know? And I realized one thing. I'm like, oxygen. Carbon monoxide. Oxygen? Carbon monoxide is toxic for me.
But you know what? According to a lot of people, the woke mentality, you can't really talk about these things unless you have like a medical degree or you're an expert about it.
And,
Like,
well, what I'm gonna have to do, and this is like the first time I actually have to say this. This is such a great podcast, and I feel like we are touching base on a lot of things, and they will get me for one thing, for saying the C word. So let's say the C word, and the rest I'm just gonna bleep it out. They know what the fuck we're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
But like by me saying the C word, now they're gonna put me on the fucking files, you know.
they're gonna put that little.
The community guidance
Yeah,
safety, yeah,
about
dude.
COVID.
Fuck them, you know. Fuck them. They don't get to tell us what to say and what to do.
Yeah.
you know. And okay, maybe they do. Because it's like, okay, the problem is that like we can say this between you and I, but we want others to hear this because it's very important for us to see what's going on in the horizon. We're too focused on what's right in front of us that we don't see the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, distraction after distraction after distraction, you know, and it's all stupid shit. I see what's trendy, what's popping right now, man. It's not it. It's so shallow, and even the stuff that I like that's trendy and poppy, I'm like, man, I need to stop listening to this. You know,
Like there's the songs that they put on the radio. Like there's this song right now, the Unholy or something.
oh yes,
Dude, it's like, really? They're putting that and kids listen to that, and it's like,
hey, but I think Sam Smith did sell his soul because look at his transformation. He was like a very handsome young man with a beautiful voice, and he had wholesome lyrics. You know,
Yeah.
with the piano, dun, 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 you know, and it's
Yeah.
like,
and Katy Perry used to sing Christian music.
yeah, and
And,
what's going on? You
yeah,
know,
and she
California girls,
Yeah.
and then after that, she fell off the wagon. You know, I mean, the list goes on and on. But with that motherfucker, look at him. He's a fat piece of shit now that he's a drag queen, or what the fuck is he?
Yeah.
She, what the fuck? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you are compelled to let everybody know that you're fabulous now. You know, but not only that you're also satanic. You know, Everybody, they're Balenciaga. They're shameless, dude. They will put it in your face, and everybody shut the fuck up. Warrior poet, Luigi, shut the fuck up, or we will Andrew Tate you. I mean, bro, that's the scary part, right?
Yeah.
That's the scary part about just fucking having a normal conversation now. You know, oh, what's going on with the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Did she get a Brazilian butt lift? Let's keep talking about this for hours and hours.
You know, it's funny that you bring the Kardashians up because women, they're always talking about like gender gap, the pay gap, equality, and all that bullshit. You know, like with the sports, nobody really watches women's sport.
No.
You know, instead of women could be buying more tickets to go watch them play. You know, go watch women play
Absolutely.
and stuff. But no, they spend all their money on the Kardashians, on makeup, watching reality shows. You know,
Well, I mean, look how disproportional it is in terms of the amount of money those females make on social media versus how much I make on social media. I make $0 on social media. They make all the money on social media. So what am I saying here? The gender equality thing that you guys are talking about is very skewed and fucked because I don't have ass and tits. But you know what? I'm not complaining.
yeah.
I understand why they're successful. I understand how they got successful.
It's like OnlyFans too,
porn,
you know?
Porn.
Yeah, porn.
Hello. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that sex is the power here? It's the weapon across all the boards. Kylie Jenner is essentially a porn star, dude, and she's a little girl.
What do you think about semen retention?
It's the best, dude. It's the best, and it should be done by
Yeah.
all men. Cold showers, fighting, jiu-jitsu. Like, what the fuck are we doing playing
Yeah.
Call of Duty pretending we're soldiers? We are soldiers. We're soldiers
Yeah.
of God, you know? We're designed by God to be soldiers.
Yeah.
But look at me. I'm a skinny fuck. But if I started doing what I know I should be doing, bro, I'd be a tank because God designed me to evolve, you know? He put me on the bottom echelon of things because otherwise, like, you're gonna think you're like this badass guy because you have all the big muscles and you were gifted. No, you're gonna have to work for it, motherfucker.
Ever since I started doing semen retention, like I feel like it's really changed my life and it's really changed my way of seeing life. You know, I feel like at one point that's all I would really think about. You know, just
Porn,
sex,
jerking off,
like
sex.
Like when am I gonna have sex again with my girlfriend and all this and, and if she's not down to have sex, like shit, like I'm
get
a
offended,
little bit upset or
Yeah.
whatever. And now I'm like, I don't really look for it, you know, like if it comes, it comes, but
Yeah.
I'm not out there like looking for it or trying to get it, you know.
Yeah.
It's-
The focus you get.
Yeah.
Also, like the clarity and the strength. My PRs on the deadlift were through semen retention, you know. Like you could take the pills, you could shoot up whatever the fuck you want, but stop jerking off for a week and see start with that first.
Sometimes I feel pretty like badass in jiu-jitsu, like when I've gone on like on really long streaks and stuff. I'm like, it's like you feel more clarity, you know, you see things more.
It's because we still haven't reached it, dude. We only get a little taste of it, and I know it's only a little taste of it because it's endless, dude. It's boundless, but it's Kundalini energy. Do you know Kundalini?
No.
Okay, I'll explain. It's a very interesting concept that the Indian culture has over there in the Eastern countries. They believe that the seat of the soul is at the base of the spine and the root chakra.
Yeah.
Your balls, your testicles, your groin area, right? And so through semen retention, like, mind you, 1 drop of semen equals to 5 drops of blood. So that's how much energy is required to create 1 cell, 1 drop of semen, right? And so you're giving a lot of yourself to produce this to begin with, right? And so once it's there, it starts to compact, right? But the problem is that we don't know how to channel this energy. We let it grow, and it's just growing the root chakra. So obviously at some point you're like, man, I need to fucking bust a nut now, you know?
Yeah.
Like even the fucking granny panties over here is looking good, you know?
Yeah, that's why you gotta do meditation, you know, to make that
Okay.
that energy travel up the spine.
Wow. Okay. So you do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you start activating the other ones, you know? Now you start feeling it here. Now you start feeling it here. Your heart starts to open up. Like everything has a meaning, and it's true, you know? When you conceptualize it with the heart chakra, the speech, sight, divinity, you know? Like that's a great way to just like let it go, flow. And essentially what they think is that the serpent, meaning the seed of the soul, starts coiling up. And once it reaches the crown, boom, that's when you really get that fucking that connection to God, that true connection to God.
One thing I've noticed that it does bring you a lot of good things into your life.
Prosperity?
Yeah. But at the same time, it brings you like a lot of haters. Man, like so many haters, like
because you're like, suave, you're walking like your shit don't stink, man.
You got that light in you, you know.
Yes,
like,
you're
glowing, and some people don't like that, you know, and they try to find a way to bring you down.
Well, we keep talking about this concept of like selfishness, and it's like, of course, nobody is necessarily wishing you ill at all, but it's like it's very difficult to be around somebody who's doing better than you. And I'll be honest with you, I get jealous. I fucking hate when I see somebody more successful than me. I fucking get bitter. But then I snap out of it and I'm like, then look at your life. What have you done? Do you deserve it? No. Okay. Then leave them alone. You do you, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the best way. Like, I'm not delusional. I'm not devoid of these nefarious and nasty emotions.
Yeah.
You know? But I always understand that it's ego, and I could transcend this, and if I do, then that's one step further to getting what I want, instead of being jealous of it, you know.
Yeah, I heard I was listening to the podcast with Hugo.
Sure.
And he brought up how Paso has a lot of envy and jealousy, and from because it's the same thing that I see in swimming, as a swim coach. You know, so many parents are jealous of another kid that is beating theirs, and then they just bad energy, and or they see a kid that's doing really good, and so many people talking bad about each other. I don't know if it's like I feel like in a way it's I see it a lot with Mexicans, you know, like in soccer. Like I'm gonna use the example of Chicharito.
Okay.
Like when he was playing in Manchester United, I would see like comments from English people like talking nothing but good stuff about him. Like they love them over there in England, and then over here in Mexico, you see so many people talking shit about him, and like so many people don't like him, and it's like. You should be happy to see another one of your...
Canelo. How many people don't look at Canelo and be like, he pinche payaso. He let this shit get to his head.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, if you have that much amount of money, it's like, why not get yourself the G-Wagon? Why not get yourself the ranch? Why not retire your mother? Why not fucking have a good life and spend, you know? You fucking earned it, you know? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And it's like, if he doesn't want to be charitable, if he doesn't want to be like a good Samaritan, that's up to him too. You know? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just that we cannot conceptualize other people having such grandiose lives and us going through shit, you know? But it's like, you only get bitter because you're so focused on the shit.
I feel like you get back what you put out to the universe. So like
you reap what you sow.
If you're being jealous about someone else, like, but their success, it's only gonna be a negative towards you.
Yeah.
Like you're putting out bad energy towards the universe, so you're getting that back.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, oh, like good for him, you know, like, oh, he's from El Paso, hell yeah, like I want to see more people from El Paso succeed and represent, you know.
Let's put the city on the map type of shit, you know. And we also talked about competition, me and Hugo, and how it's important, you know. It's important because if you live in this echo chamber where you're the baddest motherfucker. All your friends there respect you and they do what you say, and everybody's like fucking catering to you. Then you think that you're like some sort of like god or some shit, you know? And it's like with this constant need to be putting yourself against a worthy opponent, you cannot leave that situation worse. You always get better. You know, you always learn. Even if you get defeated, even if you get embarrassed. I've been embarrassed, dude, so many fucking times, dude. But I'm so glad I did. You know, I'm so glad I got defeated. I'm so glad I got beat, you know? Because now I'm confident in my abilities to accept defeat, you know, and face it like a man. You know, at the very least, I know I could do that.
It takes a lot of guts, you know, to like put yourself out there, like compete and.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you've done some competition to like, well, is it nerve wracking?
Yeah, it's stressful, man. Like really stressful. I mean, I've only competed twice. I was planning to compete next weekend, but it's my last weekend for swimming coaching.
Oh, okay, so you have to get that one out of it.
Yeah, so. But I'm looking for another competition this year that I want to compete more. Honestly, it's scary. It's nerve-wracking because I want to represent the team good, you know?
Absolutely.
Like I don't want to go out there and make a fool out of myself or the team. So if I go, I want to try my best and try to place, you know?
Right.
That's the type of mentality I try to put myself. But at the same time, the last competition I had, I lost, you know, my matches, but I feel like it was a big learning experience, you know.
There you go. I mean, and it's like I understand the nerve-wracking part because like when you spar versus when you actually fight, it's like totally different. Like the energy.
Yeah.
Like talking about energy, you know, like it's very different. It's very.
You feel that heart like just beating fast and
your energy, the way you expand energy, also it's used too explosively. You know, you throw a jab and you're like, why am I so tired all of a sudden? But when you spar, you're like, boom, throwing combinations, spinning back kicks.
Dude, remember when we used to spar?
It was so much fun, dude. And I remember
with Coach Jose, dude.
Yes, dude.
It was so funny, dude. He would always have someone against the wall just kicking their ass
and taking them down and making them. Yeah, I mean, even Coach Joe, dude.
Coach.
You're talking about
Coach Hugo's brother.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah, Coach. Well, both. Well,
I sparred.
But I spar more with Coach Joe.
Yeah, same. But with Coach Hugo, it was funny. Like me and him were sparring, and I'm getting pieced apart, obviously, right? So I'm just surviving, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing good. Like we're getting jabbed in the face, whatever, right? And in the last second, I just, and then, dude, fucking floors me like nothing, dude. On the last second, dude, I'm just there like, oh, like everybody's walking around me. I'm like, oh. And Coach Joe would do the same, dude. Like I don't think anybody has ever given me a black eye other than the Sida brothers. Mm-hmm. Only those two son of a guns. With all due respect.
I remember the last time I sparred with you, we were going hard and
you took me down, you son of a bitch.
I had just gone with Coach Joe and he rocked me hard. And then I was going hard with you too, and you got me pretty good. And then the next day I could not eat. Actually, as soon as we were done with the sparring, I took off my mouthpiece.
And you're just like lockjaw?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't move it. And the next day I couldn't eat. I was like, fuck.
No, Coach O would beat the fuck out of me. One time he beat the fuck out of me in front of my dad, dude.
Yeah.
I was supposedly like, come on, dad, come on. Like, so you can see how como tiro chingazos. Mm-hmm. Coach Joe made me his bitch, dude. He had me against the wall. Boom, uppercut. Yeah. And then, I just fall to the ground. And my dad's just there like,
I'm going to make a comeback. I'm going to come back to the striking.
Yeah, dude, I love striking, bro. Like, I understand the jiu-jitsu part is very important. The wrestling, to me, is a little bit more so. So I want to learn how to be able to take down people like twice my size. Because I could do my size, maybe lighter, depending on the technique. But... yeah, if they have like 10, 20 pounds on me, they will be able to stuff it easy. You know, I'm sloppy.
Yeah.
Or guillotined. You'll guillotine me like nothing, dude.
I remember when we used to spar. Like one time, I was pretending that I was just gonna strike with you,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then all of a sudden I just went for the takedown.
Well, remember that I don't know if it was the same time, but like you had me like on a matrix glitch, you know, like you would give me like a little hope. Like I
Yeah.
would get up, I'm like, okay, I'm up, and then I'm like, I'm going back down, and then like we roll, and then, like that's what they call it, rolling, guys.
Yeah.
We roll, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm slick, I'm getting back up, and then you do the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute, and then. By the third time, I'm like, oh shit, I need to fucking figure this out.
Yeah.
But it was too late. You already snatched the fucking rear naked,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah, man. I haven't gone to the striking class because I've been because I'm the
Yeah.
head coach of the swim team.
You're busy.
Man, it's so much stress, and actually, this is my 2 more weeks, and I'm done. Like,
Okay, you'll be able to.
yeah, I'll be able to.
Relax.
Yeah, I'll be able to go to class again. But it's because I'm done, man. Coaching, like, I want to take a
Really?
break from it. Yeah, I coached swimming for 11 years, and I feel like parents nowadays, like, they make it very difficult for coaches. You know, like
I mean, that's
The
what
way
that's what Hugo was talking about too, bro.
the way they raise their kids. First of all, like in the team where I'm at, parents are not really committed. You know, like if you're joining a competitive team, you're expected to compete. And a lot of the parents don't want to take their kids, because it's too expensive or whatever. They don't want to spend the time there at the meet. Or like they don't take them to practice all the time, or like they baby them too much. You know,
Yeah.
like all kids like from like 8-9 years old already with phones. You know, they get whatever they want. They don't really get punished, you know, for anything. I remember one time we're some kid in the team, like he was supposed to be they did something like very serious, and it was it was expected for the parents to do something to ground them or to do something about it, you know,
yeah.
discipline them. And no, like, you know, they saw the kid he was crying or whatever, and they took him to a concert because he was crying after he
the
had
fuck?
just gotten in trouble. You know, like parents nowadays, like the kid does something, the kid cries, makes a scene. They're like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna allow it just so they can stop.
Here's your iPad back.
Yeah.
Sorry for grounding you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get you an ice cream bowl.
Yep. That's today's parents nowadays, you know, like instead of letting just the kid cry, I feel like it's something like right from the beginning that you need to do, you know, like they need to learn that you're not gonna get whatever you want just for crying.
Here's a on I'm gonna say it, but here's an unwanted truth. You have to discipline your kids, like always. Always. You have to be on their asses always. Like, if they're doing one small, like they're poking their nose, fuck no. What the fuck are you, disgusting? You know, go wash your hands. You know? And if you see them writing on the walls, what the fuck are you, a gangster, a cholo, or chola, whatever the fuck, you know? Go clean that shit up, you know? And little by little, they start to realize that there are boundaries, there are rules, and my dad is intolerant to passivity. The father is intolerant to basically everything. So it's like you have to be a military parent in order to raise a good child, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like my parents were very strict with me.
No, and you could tell you like I'm not calling you a square by any means, but you're a man of dignity and morals. You could tell, dude, like the way you're speaking to me, the things you're talking about, like you have substance, you know, and that only comes when you come from a good household, I believe, you know.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. My parents were very strict, especially my dad. Like, he wouldn't really let us go out with friends and stuff. And now thinking about it, you know, like I used to be very good in swimming. You know, like I was at one point when I was 12 years old, I was like ranked number 6 in the nation.
Really?
Like in one of the events. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So but that was because my parents were like, they would always take me to practice. They made sure like we were never late. You know, we were always there on time. Always the first ones to get in the water. They're always
They're-
very strict, but
They were part of your team.
yeah. But I feel like when I got to high school, they kind of like, well, they were having issues, so they kind of stopped focusing on me,
Yeah.
and that's when I got more freedom. And then I started going out to parties and drinking, and I went from like freshman year I went to state in swimming to like sophomore year not making it, and because I started partying and drinking and stuff, but because I didn't have that guidance, like that discipline that my parents like kept for a long
Yeah.
time, but like as soon as they stopped it, like I got distracted.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the whole circle of life. If you really analyze this situation closely, you will understand that like it had to happen at some point, you know, and you had to go through that process
Yeah.
at some point. So thank God it was like at 16, 17, and you realize,
Yeah.
man, there's no merit behind this because I'm digressing, you know. It's only like that because if you've never tried poison and everybody's having fun with poison, was like you're 32, you don't know what the fuck. It's like, well, let me try the poison, you know? By that time, you should already know, don't do poison. You know, by 32, you should already have your shit together, not experimenting.
Yeah.
You know? But I think that when you no longer have your parents guiding you, you have no choice but to mitigate yourself, you know? Okay, I didn't floss. I have gingivitis now. Great. You know, okay, well, I fucking overdid it with the alcohol. I am hungover. Great. You know, and how many times are you gonna allow yourself to say great when you fucked up? You know, and that's when you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna stop fucking up. I'm gonna start giving myself rules. This rebellious kid that I thought I was, well, it turns out that I am more strict on myself than my parents were. You know, it's like, okay, I understand now. Like, I understand why responsibility, waking up early, doing what you need to do is more important than spending all night, like, getting shit-faced, you know? I thought it was important to, like, experience that.
Yeah.
You know, the hangover and all that stuff.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
It's important that you grow out from it. But some people never do, sadly. Like alcohol can be such a dangerous drug, It's a legal drug.
There's this demon called alcohol, and it's like it just like possesses the human soul, and it's like alcohol,
I know it lowers your vibration too,
anything that gets you off like the clarity of it all. Like if meditation brings you closer to focus, like all these substances do the opposite, right? And if you do that, it's just like your vibrational state dictates. You're an antenna, let's put it like that, and the less vibration you have, the less juice you have to have connection with the source, That's the way I see it, like if I'm an antenna, then the more I rise my energy, the more I could reach, like a satellite or something.
It's funny that some people think it's a joke, about the semen retention.
Yeah.
Speaking about the antenna, because how you rise up your energy and stuff. I used to have a friend that used to always like joke around about it, like, oh yeah, I do it all the time. I watch porn all the time. I jack off every day.
Okay.
I feel better, but I don't know. I guess he started doing it. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I guess he stopped joking around about it because I guess he kind of felt
the power,
the difference, like because it is, it's a big difference.
Girls start noticing you like bad B words, like straight up, like women that don't even give me a second thought when I'm fucking like on a fucking porn binge. Now all of a sudden, now they're like, oh, like what's up with you? I'm like,
yeah,
I'm still me. Like, what the fuck happened? It's like, no, you're not you. You weren't you. That was the problem. Now you're you, and now it's like you're. It's just like just be authentic.
I feel like because I went to state my freshman year, but that's because I never really knew about like jacking off to like my sophomore year in high school.
Oh, dude, you lucky motherfucker.
So like my freshman year, I was like full of testosterone and No wonder I went to state. I feel
Bro,
like that's another reason. Like,
that's why I don't have a beard, dude, because I jerked off basically all my purity, you know? Like every time I was like, okay, you're becoming a man. It's like, Pornhub, here I come. And because I didn't know it was bad,
Yeah.
dude. Like I started watching it when I was 12.
Nowadays they say that it's healthy for you. That
Well,
if you don't do it, that you're gonna get prostate cancer.
The
and-
no jumper fucking prick, like man, like I called out Ryan Garcia to box. He would piece me apart. But how about I fucking box this fucking prick? In the name of God, I'll give him a kind of ass whooping, you know.
Yeah.
And he's a big dude. I'll just fucking kick him in the nuts, you know.
Yeah.
Put him out of biz, you know.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm kidding. Like, violence is not the way, you know. It's just the way I like it. But essentially, we can be that guy, the no jumper guy, but the yin to his yang, you know.
Yeah.
If all of us come together, it's like, okay, maybe that one guy promoting pornography is getting all the bitches and all the money, but how about 10, 20, 100 guys? And we share with the spoils of victory, you know? Because what the fuck is that one prick going to do against all of us, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because we're like, this stuff, fucking jerk off, doesn't work. It just makes me more anxious, more frustrated, more like lost and ashamed.
Depressed.
Depressed, dude. I feel so ashamed to like face myself. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, you're ugly, you know?
Yeah.
But like you say, well, give yourself like that semen retention and god damn it, you know, god damn it. And you become braver. Like I actually made it a point. Like if I watch porn, I'm gonna give myself a cold shower. Like to remove that bitchness right away, dude.
I've seen that some women, obviously it's not the same for them too, but they practice going long periods of time without doing it too, you know. I've heard benefits for women too. I wouldn't really know, but
I think sex is a spiritual thing. It's not an action, right? And so we're using it as a workout. It's like it's not like you're going to the Planet Fitness and getting your half hour in, you know, and it's not like just because she's your girlfriend you could do whatever the fuck you want. Like you have to have that connection with the person, you know. Fundamentally, she doesn't have to be your girlfriend, but like, doesn't it make more sense? Like, spiritually speaking, when you're having sex with somebody that you have a connection with, whatever that means, rather than some fucking
pixels on the screen.
No, not even that. Just like some one-off thing or like some like hit it and quit it situation. Like you feel, I personally feel bad because I'm not enjoying myself to begin with. I realize that I truly don't like this person.
And then with all the STDs and
oh yeah, you start getting worried.
It's like fuck, like especially like it's rising a lot here in El Paso.
Yeah, man, and it's like, I mean, this sexual intemperance thing. It's just as bad as the mass shooting situation. But, you know, having these conversations making me think like, well, why the fuck do I want to have sex to be with anybody other than my wife? You know, and I probably don't want to get married, and I have already procreated, and it's like I could chalk it up as like I have better shit to do. You know, I have better shit to do, and if like that's all I'm chasing, I might catch something. You know, and I might not like it. You know,
honestly, I don't believe in marriage right now. I feel like I myself wouldn't get married because you know I feel like it's rare finding in the Western culture that we live in right now, because I've heard.
It's a shit show, dude. My dad's a perfect example of that. But like, the only person I would have been down to do that with, that stupid decision, would have been with my baby mama. The thing is that I know she would have fucked me over. Like, it's a given. But it's like, I
have you heard about hypergamy or hypergamy?
Hypergamy, yeah. That's very important to understand. Can you explain that to the audience?
Well, hypergamy is basically just a woman always looking for the bigger, better deal. Like, she's always pretty much open, I guess, to
where the grass is greener.
Yeah. For example, like social media, like posting pictures of herself, like to
For
attract
attention.
validation from other men and stuff, or like basically like if a guy that has more of what she's looking for, if she has more of whatever that she's looking for,
And
then
it could be just something
she
more.
could just leave you
Yeah.
without
like,
any remorse.
He listened to me. It's like, bitch, I fucking worked 80 hours a week. I was
Yeah.
trying to fucking pay the mortgage. I'm just like, and you're taking the kids? Like, you're taking half the house?
Yeah.
No, you're keeping the house? I have to pay you alimony?
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck am I? I'm in a nightmare. I thought I loved you. I thought you loved me. And it's like, let's remove the little contractual thing and let's vibe and let's take it as long as we're gonna take it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know. But if you're somebody that I love, of course I'll consider you my wife, spiritually speaking, you know. But I'm not gonna get married like that, you know, because I intend to be a very successful man, and I'm not gonna let look at Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
His
Elon Musk too.
Elon Musk. I mean, but Elon Musk is going through wives
Yeah.
like crazy. Jeff Bezos is like, they came up together, and this bitch just fucking booked it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Half his shit, half of what?
Yeah.
$500 billion or whatever the fuck it was. Gazillion dollars, and it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck did she do? Like, what did she do that was so special that she deserved that?
Nobody really knew her after.
That's
until after the
bro.
divorce.
That's fucking robbery in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking straight up robbery. You know, you came into an agreement on the premise that was forever, and once forever seemed too long for you, you booked it, but you didn't book it the way you came. You booked it with half the man's shit, and that's not fair.
Nowadays, marriage doesn't really benefit men. You know, it's more for the woman. You know, it's more for her to like brag with her friends.
Diamond ring.
Like, oh, look at my diamond ring. Oh, look at my wedding. Look at where I went to on my honeymoon, and look at my house. You know, just basic, like a lot of bragging rights, and then they benefits more like if they get divorced, like it's more than likely that she's gonna get the kids and she's gonna get the house, and you know.
I think I would be very, very, very relieved to catch my significant other in the act, right? Because it's like, oh, that's the type of person you are. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
You too, bro. But if it's my wife, I'm gonna have to pop a cap on both of them. Allegedly, maybe not. You know what I'm saying, though, right? I went a little bit dark there. But no, man, like the marriage thing just puts an extra layer of loyalty and to be respect. And if you just tarnish that, then you make me look like a fool. If you were just my girlfriend, then yeah, I could just chalk it up as you were being a skank. And there's a new one in my bed now. My bed that I have, my king size bed in my fucking mansion, you know. It's not half of my king size bed that now I'm living in a crummy apartment and fucking whatever the fuck, you know. Like, it wasn't a tragical story. It was just like, I just fucking got a bad batch, you know.
And I feel like if you do get married, like you have to be on your game all the time, like always, like on top of your shit, you know, like.
Yeah.
Still,
you
like,
can't slack off at all, dude. Yeah, that's so true. And it's unfair, you know, because women, because the honeymoon phase is like they're serving you. They're the ideal woman, and of course, you know, like the sex is intense. It's like it can't be better. It's like you might as well ask her to marry me right now, you know. But then 6 months come, and then here comes the jealousy.
Yeah.
Here comes the text messages. Here comes this, that, and the other. It's like, what the fuck? And then 1 year comes, and now she's being difficult with you, and now she's saying that you're a fucking prick for not throwing out the trash. And it's like, what the fuck? I just got here. I mean, why are you being such a bitch? Don't call me a bitch. And she start throwing shit. And it's like,
They say the best she's gonna treat you is the first couple months that you're going out with her.
yeah.
And
then after that, dump her. For reals, dude. Like, it's all
I've heard a lot too.
sour
Like,
grapes.
women over 25, like, they're not really themselves. Like when you meet them, because they're
25.
Yeah, because they're already like going. Because you know.
Oh, they know how to manipulate.
Well, like, I don't know if you heard about the sexual market. How like a woman's prime is her early 20s.
Sure.
That's like when she's at her most fertile. She's best looking that she can be.
Look, all these women are looking at Kim Kardashian, J Lo, and shit like that, and they're thinking, "Man, I'm gonna look great at 50." No, you're not. No, you're not, because you're drinking every day. You're not J Lo working out every fucking night, dancing and recording at the studio. You're actually a fucking thotty that's addicted to clubbing, and so you could imagine that beer belly that you have already going on for you is gonna grow and grow, and your tits are gonna sag, and hopefully they're still bigger than your fucking belly, and your ass is gonna be backwards. You don't want to admit that. They don't want to conceptualize that reality. They just see themselves with the filters and all the likes on Instagram. It's like, I'm a queen, bitch. Yes, yes.
And us, man, like, we don't have shit. Early 20s. Our prime is after 35, 35 to 45.
And your real success doesn't come to like 50 something. Like our road is long, dude.
Yeah.
Like we don't see any results, and that's why a lot of men seem to be frustrated now because of instant gratification. Well, if I could bust a nut right here, right now, with the pornography, like why can't I get the $1 million? Why can't I do this? It's like we're being wired to want things now instead of
having to work for them,
planting seeds and letting them grow. You're just putting all the fertilizer there, all the water. It's like, man, what the fuck? And so you get frustrated and you start feeling disenfranchised and like you're being done dirty.
Yeah.
And it goes either way. You start shooting up people or you fucking off yourself, because you cannot take the pressure of being a man. The pressure of being a man can be what's it called? It can be dealt by any man. That's why we're men. There's nothing that God's throwing at you that you cannot deal with.
Back to what I told you about, like, how women are not themselves after 25, like when you meet them, because they're already like, they're kind of missing the train, or missing the bus, to find a good guy to like marry and stuff. And they kind of want to make you seem like they're one way just to like please you. But like you said, like after 6 months, she changes and like jealousy comes and all these things. And
I mean, look, man, the thing is that like no matter what, like this at this particular stage in life and the technology where it stands, any fucking woman really has options. Anybody.
Yeah.
And one of my exes sent me something so disturbingly disgusting, but it's so true. And she's like, so it was like a screenshot of a tweet saying, women fuck when they want.
Yeah.
And men fuck when they can.
Yep.
Bitch, fuck you. I fuck whenever the fuck I want. And in fact, I'm gonna go fuck bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I have no options. Well, it was only you. That's why I'm pissed off,
Well, but actually, I mean, but at the same time, men marry who they want.
Yeah.
And women marry who they can.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like this fornic is exactly, we're putting so much emphasis on the fucking that we lose sight of, like, Hugo said this. He's like, how many hours of the day are you actually gonna be fucking, and will it be every day? And it's like, probably not. You have to go to work still. You have to fucking, if you have kids, you have to tend to that. It's like, life goes on even after you find the one and you marry her and you have the possibility to have sex every day, all day. But life doesn't work like that. It isn't all fun and games. And essentially, sex should be fun. Sex should be wonderful, But when it's like just a disposable thing, like a vape hit.
Yeah, it comes down to this Disney blue pill we grew up with, that you get married and you live for happily ever after, and men become very complacent when they get married, and they stop working out and they stop doing the things that made them get the girl in the first place. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of, I guess you could say it's kind of it's both ways, like men's faults too.
Absolutely.
for being weak and not standing up for themselves, and letting their wives like walk all over them.
I cannot blame women at all, to be honest with you. Like, children and women are blameless. They can make mistakes, actually. They're allowed to. It's men who are not allowed to make mistakes, and if they do, you better fucking own up to it. So
Yeah.
here, as a society as a whole, we're making a tremendous mistake, and that's basically saying, okay, babe, you could take the keys of the house and run it however you want. Here's the finances. Here's my paycheck. I bow down. No. What the fuck? That wasn't even our father's way.
Yeah.
And yeah, like women will get bitter and a little bit angry that we will take it back. But they will ultimately feel, you're telling me that I don't have to fucking go to school for 12 years to have a career that I really didn't even give a fuck. I just wanted to get paid the big bucks so I could be a bad bitch and fucking live the lifestyle and be independent. No. I can marry the successful man who's a good man, by the way, because we're cultivating a culture of men, honorable men, you know? And sure, I mean, some of us will have our mistresses. But besides the point, my point is, we can essentially make this a booming country. It all begins with us. Mm-hmm. It's just being the best versions we can be. That's what we can do, really.
Yeah.
But you're a brick and I'm a brick, and we start stacking it.
Yeah, you gotta be right with yourself to help others.
Yeah.
If you're not good with yourself, it all starts with you. Life choice, the choices you make every day.
Now that's so interesting you say that, because it's like, yeah, like the more fucked up I am, the more I'm consuming substances, I just end up hating the world. Really, I don't care about the world. I look at the homeless guys, I'm like, ha, that's what you get, bitch. But like now I empathize, right? But it's like, it's weird when you consume negativity, you are negativity. It's like, it's so easy to live a positive life.
Yeah.
But it's like we're being force fed negativity.
You attract what you, and it's crazy that you know, like, I'm a strong believer in God.
Yes.
And whenever you ask God for something, He does deliver.
Always.
You know, always.
100%.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I asked for Him something like 2 months ago, and then I realized, like, oh,
I already have it.
I have it. Damn, like He gave it to me. You know, like, and it's a good feeling. You know, like putting yourself in your trust in God and stuff. And
It's essentially what men have to do in order to not be so stressed out. You know, listen. This is how the chain of command works. Children leave their worries onto the mothers, the female, and the female human leaves their worries onto the man's hands. Right now, that's not happening. It's the other way around. Some of us are not working. Some of us are broke. Some of us are getting divorced. Some of us are letting our wives use us as doormats. The list goes on and on, but women are in power. And the thing is that they have nobody to leave their fucking worries onto. You know? So that's why they're fucking pissed off at us, really. Because they don't have anybody to unload this fucking weight. So what did they do? They put this shield on of independence and power, and like, this is the bad bitch, and you will be I am a force to be reckoned with. And it's like, no, you're afraid. You're afraid. This is masculine equivalent of putting your chest up because you're insecure and you want people to fear you. You know, it's masculine nonetheless, and you're out of your element. You know, and so like, let's get this thing straight. You know, like, there are roles to be played. This is not misogyny. You know, I love women, and they play a very critical role, and it's being the portal of life. Like, I see so much beauty. Like, I see beauty.
Dude,
I see beauty.
Women are beautiful, man.
Yeah,
like,
dude, and it's like they don't have to be flaunting themselves like this, because they're only.
I feel like they don't need all this makeup and all this
Absolutely.
stuff, eyelashes, nails. I mean, they're like, they could be beautiful without all those things, you know, like.
The exaggerated nails, the exaggerated eyelashes, the exaggerated like contouring and stuff. Like, man, let me tell you something. It looks nice. I don't mind it. But when I see a woman in her essence, in her natural, and you see her for who she really is, man, that's a beautiful woman to me.
Yeah.
You know, that she, like, you could hit her up on a Sunday morning, and she's looking like
Yeah.
beautiful, you know.
I'm really attracted to like very feminine qualities, you know,
Absolutely.
like a soft voice, um, like very polite, no cussing, like
I'll be honest with you. I am a little bit on the tomboyish girls, and that's bad. Those are the bad bitches, dude. I'm already gonna switch gears, dude. I'm not even gonna fucking worry about that stuff, you know. But it seems like my preference is the feminine girl, you know, like the good girl, like with the cute face. But for some reason, dude, it's like they could smell it in there.
yeah.
I'm just a fucking dog. So. Who fucking is the
got
ones?
that you got that dog in you.
Yeah, I have that dog in me. You know what I mean? So it's like now I'm fucking left with like strippers, bitches from fucking those like mini short bars, like Cabo Joe's type of shit. You know, like now I'm hanging out with those girls, and I'm like, okay, well you are cute. Oh, some of you are actually smart. Wow, they're human. They're human. But the thing is that they don't give a fuck about you. They're gonna use you, squeeze you, and then next.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's like bartenders. Like if you go to a bar, like the bartender flirts with you and everything.
oh yeah,
But it's because she's looking for that bigger tip, you know.
yeah. And it's like I remember the first time I went to a strip club, and
Uh-huh.
don't tell anybody I told you this, okay? This is between you and me, okay? So the first time I went to the strip club, dude, I got the baddest of the bad I could find there. I was like, which one is it? And I'm like, that one. And my friend told me that he paid like $60. So I'm like, oh, that's cheap. I thought that was like the standard rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, hey, well, take me to the VIP. Okay, let's go to the VIP. So she's dancing and she's asking me, you want another song? I'm like, fuck yeah, you know. And she did like 3 songs, and next thing you know, she's like, it'll be 90. I'm like, 90? I'm like, for you? And then because my question was like, is there like different rates or what the fuck? But she took it like for you, ugly bitch type of shit. I'm like, no. But it's like, I don't know, man. And it's like, well, you kept asking for dances. I'm like, you kept offering, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, she fucking took my shit. It's good business. It's good business. Okay. Whoever thought about that, man. It's like you guys already knew what moves the world, right? Money and sex, right? Anyways, we go downstairs and I'm like, oh, can I have your number? And she's like, oh, I can give you my Instagram. You're so handsome. And like literally, dude, I left the place because she called me like, oh, you're actually handsome. And yada. I left the place feeling like a god, dude. I'm handsome. She thinks I'm handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Oh my god, that fucking kid, you know. But you live and you learn, you know.
Dude, in the summer, I went to a crazy party. The party, they had a pool and stuff. So
bikini girls and stuff.
I was celebrating because I had just gotten a promotion and like I had a new job. So I was like, fuck, I was like on party mode. And it was my friend's birthday, so it was gonna go all night.
Yeah,
so
balls to the wall.
yeah, so like I'm drinking and stuff, having a good time. And then they're like, oh, the strippers from Dreams are gonna show up like at 3 a.m.
No.
But because they were friends and stuff, they knew them.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh hell yeah. But this guy, he like pulls out he had some cocaine. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm party mode, and I do a line, and I feel great, and I'm drinking and everything, and then I do another one, and like I just felt badass, and then I think after the third one, like I felt like I was gonna die, like I was just like trying to focus on my breathing.
Yeah,
and,
trying to keep it together.
yeah, and I went to the restroom and I was like looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, come on, man, like relax, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like I was just having a bad trip.
Here comes the strippers.
And yeah, I was waiting for the strippers, and then I went into the pool and I was just holding my breath. I was doing the wind huff method.
Okay.
And just trying to hold my breath for as long as I can.
Energize every cell in your body. And then
all of a sudden I just feel this girl like coming up to me and start grabbing me and stuff. and then I'm like, oh, like some girls like trying to like
Yeah.
get with me or
Yeah.
whatever, and then I come up and then like I give her a hug, and it's this other guy's like girlfriend, and
Okay.
then she's like, oh, I'm sorry, like.
Was it like he
I thought you were
mistake?
my boyfriend and stuff. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And yeah, I just kept on holding my breath, and then finally the strippers from Dreams show up,
Okay.
and I'm just there like trying not to die. And one of my friends was there too, like that I took with him, took with me, and he was like, hey, come on, man, like get yourself together, like, cause he's like my wingman, like
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
would go out and.
And go on the hunt together.
Yeah, because you know, like some guys, like they get awkward, like with around girls. Like you try to like bring him into the conversation, and then they get awkward or like very shy. So like he's
suave.
like
Yeah. You guys know how to ping pong the conversation.
yeah. So and he was like trying to like get me back into the pool, and then like the girls they were all like giving us a show, like
Yeah.
and they're like thongs and like in their
Titties
bra,
out.
yeah. And then I kind of felt better, and I was talking to one of the strippers, and then I gave her a kiss, and then she's like, "Oh no, my boyfriend's about to get here," and then literally like 2 minutes later, like the guy walks in. He looks like all like he's
The gangster.
yeah,
status?
gangster and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, I got lucky, and then dude, like, the cocaine killed that night because I feel like I could have like
They had a lot of fun.
yeah, I could have had more fun, and like I fucked up doing cocaine. I had to take an Uber home because
Don't do
my
drugs,
friend
kids.
because my friend was driving, so I had to take an Uber because my friend stayed there, and he said the party was still going on till like 7 a.m.
Hey, fucking bull. I mean, there was coke in there. I'm not surprised, dude. I mean, I've indulged, and
Have you done cocaine?
of course, dude. But let me tell you, that stuff is it's like you have to keep going because you go, you get the jolt, and then you come back down. So it's like at that point you have to get the second line in, and then the third, and then by the whatever line you get to where you feel like it's enough, your fucking head's pounding, your heart's racing, you're like, oh man, I need to fucking chill. You know, that's the problem with it. Like you cannot just take one and call it a day. You know.
Honestly, I've never bought it. Never in my life.
Just that one time, or what?
No, I've done it a couple times, but I'll do it only if I really know the person and they offer me.
Yeah, bro.
But other than that, I would never like. I have it like very like hard and
Yeah, you're not gonna spend your resources on that.
yeah,
shit.
I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, somebody said that it was a luxury drug. I'm like, a luxury drug? I'm like, okay.
Have you ever seen the Wolf of Wall Street? Dude, that movie's fucking
Fucking
hilarious.
sick, dude. Fucking Jordan Belfort is my spirit animal, dude. For reals, dude. But I mean, going back to the strippers, dude. Like I got fucked up, and I ended up at the new one, at the fucking what's it, the I'm not gonna advertise that, but the green one. And so I'm like, I'm gonna check it out, you know. I'm already fucking tipsy, so I roll up, and I mean, it was kind of fucking shit show. But anyways, some fucking chick is telling me like, oh, like you don't like me and yada yada yada. You wanna dance? I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, let me think about it. And she's like, well, what is there to think about? Like, all fucking like indignant, you know? And I'm like, well, haven't you seen the competition? She stood up and fucking left, all fucking pissed. It's like the kid that I used to be, and when I start first, and even if she was like an ugly ass bitch, oh no, yeah, you're cute, but let me think. I'm still fucking being considerate to them, you know? When all they want is my money, they don't give a fuck about me. So it's like at this point, it's like, dude, leave me alone. Get the fuck out of here, you know?
Ever since I started semen retention like 3-4 years ago, I mean, I stopped going to strip clubs.
Yeah.
But
it's a waste of money, really.
yeah, but even before then, I was like, I never really spent a lot of money. I would just take, if maybe like $20 in once.
Yeah.
And just spend them one at a time. Like,
all right.
Oh, I like that girl.
Yeah.
Go give her $1, get a little dance. Oh, she danced good. I'll give her an extra one. Boom, a little bit more time. Like I would just spend them as $1.
Yeah.
And sometimes I remember they would like come up to me and like sit down on my lap and make a conversation and stuff. And after 5 minutes, they're like, so you want to dance? And I would be like, no, I'm good, thanks. And then they get super pissed.
Yeah,
like,
they get back up and they fucking bounce, you know? Bro, it's like, it's all human psychology, you know? Like, and it's like, I don't feel nefarious when they're like on top of me and I'm over here having a good time. And it's like, I know this is, I'm just riding the wave and she don't know it. I'm like, you like my watch, baby girl? It tells the time, and you know what time it is? It's my fucking time. Damn right. We're talking. So what's up, baller? You gonna take me upstairs and show me who's the man? Actually, I'm fucking broke, girl. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, but I mean, they're strippers. Like, it's not like.
I mean,
it's not like you're obligated to give them a shitload of money. Like,
and I'm not obligated to give them like fucking my common courtesy. You know, I'm respectful and I'm not a douchebag, but it's like I'm also not gonna fucking lie to them. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm not gonna lie to myself. But then again, like you said, I'm also not gonna go to those places anymore because why am I gonna put myself in a situation where I have to be a dick to a woman? Mm-hmm. It's like I cannot respect a stripper, so it's like I'm not gonna go and be disrespectful to a stripper. I'll just let them be strippers. Yeah. And I'll be the person that I need to be. You know, I mean, it's entertainment. This is entertainment for me. Like this is I know that like perhaps on some level it could be another form of distraction that I'm providing to people, but in reality, I hope that I can both entertain and inform, because this whole just mindless entertainment is not gonna cut it. You know. I don't know, we're going to end up if we keep consuming nothing. You know? It's like we're eating Doritos for lunch, breakfast, and dinner, you know? Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. I have lunch the first thing in the morning. That's what I do. And then breakfast. But listen, man. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, not really. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Brother, it was a badass time.
You have a mind that is so vast, and I know I barely scratched the surface. I hope you could come back.
Yeah,
so we could do round 2.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm because this was so fun, dude. You have a good head on your shoulders, and you're woke. This is what woke looks like. Not purple hair and painted nails.
That liberal bullshit.
No, dude, no. And we talked about liberals. We talked about the LGBT community. Which one was the other one? Liberals,
trans.
No, feminism.
Yeah, feminism.
We touch base on everything. Yeah, all the evil ones.
Yeah,
all the demonic forces that play. The reptilians, Sam Harris and his fucking
COVID.
And this was a loaded. Scam. I mean, this is a loaded podcast, man, and it needs to get out there, man. People need to hear this. I mean, do you believe in chemtrails?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're just being poisoned at every level of life, from the spiritual to the mental to the physical, you know?
All the food that we eat, all the chemicals and stuff, and
the BPAs in the plastic bottles.
I follow this guy on Instagram called the Raw Meat Experiment. Okay. I don't know if you've seen it. This guy, he ate over a year. He's been eating
carnivore diet,
just raw meat.
Raw meat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
So apparently,
it's like, not Liver King, right?
No.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
No, some other guy. Apparently, like when you cook it or whatever, it like kills
loses nutrients, right?
Nutrients and stuff, and I don't know.
I mean,
I went from because I used to cook my steaks like well done, but I've been getting a lot into steaks too. So now I like to order them medium.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But if it's like a really good restaurant, like high end, like probably like medium rare. Yeah.
That's all I eat, dude. Medium rare. It cannot be rare because if the center is cold, then fuck that. The center has to be warm, but it also has to be pink. You know, I'm not afraid of a little blood. You know, last time I was sparring and this guy was pouring on me, didn't mind that either. You know, but it's like what I do mind is with undercooked or overcooked. That's a big no-no for me. So high-end restaurants are necessary because if you go to Village Inn trying to get your steak dinner, you're not gonna have a good steak dinner. You have to you have to treat yourself
Yeah.
to a good steak, and it's so good for you, dude.
Yeah, I went to what Texas Roadhouse,
Okay.
and I ordered a medium steak, and it was like not fully cooked. It was like a medium rare. So
Okay.
that's why like I feel like if you're gonna go like if I wanted medium rare, I would go for like a high end place.
Yeah, I mean,
because not everywhere they really know how to cook it.
that's what I'm trying to say. You need to go to a place where you know they're gonna cook it right. They know what they're doing. You know, like it's so frustrating.
Right temperature and everything.
Exactly. So frustrating to me. It's like you call this medium rare, you call this medium, like this is charbroiled.
Yeah.
You know. But
And I mean, what do you think about vegans and vegetarians? Cause for a while I tried going vegan. Cause I guess because of the animals, you know. I don't.
Yeah.
I think it is fucked up how they keep pigs, you know, like in.
Let's get into
really
hunting, like Joe Rogan, and let's start fucking feeding our community, dude. Like good meat instead of this fucking what's it called? A factory farming,
processed food,
factory
processed
farming
meat.
with the hormones. Man, there's so much shit that we can do, you know. But we have to get in touch to our masculine, you know. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, we leave you guys. We're toxic as fuck. Yeah, yeah. Testosterone, motherfuckers. All right, later.
Later, guys.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you, man. It's fucking fun.
Damn, bro. We went a good while.
I don't even know.
Like 2 hours?
2 hours and here comes the 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Yeah, that was a while. It went by pretty fast.
It's like this is a time changer. Exactly.
Here with the warrior poet, spitting out the facts, artillery loaded, perfecting our craft, yeah you know we devoted. I know what I want, so I'm staying focused. You hitting up my line, it's on do not disturb. Don't need a fool who can't even back up his words. Had to burn bridges and take different roads. You might think I'm toxic, but homie I got goals.